It is a trap. We are coming into the holiday season, and then you have news of, oh, 50-year mortgages. Oh, maybe a 15-year car loan, many more things from like credit card, specials and promotions that are coming out towards the end of the year. All of these are designed to put us in a financial trap because the system is rigged against us. There are so many financial traps out there, especially now that we're getting into the holiday season and you hear talks of the 50-year mortgage loan, you hear talks of the 15-year car loan, and all these other ideas. Fannie Mae just got rid of the minimum credit score for uh qualifying for a home loan. Now, of course, there's a little caveat to that. If you want a little bit information about that, check out the video that I have linked down in the description where I talk about Fannie Mae and the 50-year mortgage. And there's so many things out there that are made to get you into a financial burden, for you to get into these financial situations that are made and are designed in basically a financial struggle, and many of us fall for them. And I know I've fallen for a few, especially during like Black Fridays sales and all that, and all these credit card promotions and end of year sales and everything. Protect our money, our finances, because again, money is political. Money is political. We've seen that this year, and we need to protect our finances so that way we can, be able to drive more change. Because with the holidays, we get into like the spirit, and so we fall for a lot of these traps. So let's get into it. So the first one I want to talk about is the Black Friday deals. I know, we get into the holidays and you get into that Christmas spirit or holiday spirit, whatever holiday you celebrate. But it's in the air. You feel it. I feel it. And let me tell you, I have been tempted. First of all, we are supposed to be boycotting, right? We're supposed to be participating in this big, beautiful boycott because we are trying to show with our money, with our buying power, that what, all this stuff that y'all been doing this whole year, we're sick of it. And it's been working in some cases, right? With Target, we've seen that, and Starbucks felt it a little bit, but we're supposed to kind of boycott the holiday season. But I understand that not everyone can, or for whatever reason, but you can, again, do it a little bit more strategic, like supporting small businesses, minority owned businesses, and things like that, and only buying what you need. So it's been a struggle because, especially now that I've moved into my house, that I wanted to celebrate a little bit of Christmas and all that stuff. But you know what? I'm not gonna be here for the most part, anyways, so it's fine. I'll probably put my Christmas tree up, but yeah, I'm avoiding or going to go and buy from small businesses. For example, buying books. A few people that I know have released books. Um, Buying things like candles or things from small business owners. You could do things like that. I want to get into the Black Friday deals because that is a financial trap. I know they kind of like legally do it, right? But they will hike up these prices and then mark it down. And first of all, they haven't even been marking it down significantly to make it a deal. What happened to the sales of like 80%, 70%, things like that during Black Friday? Now it's like 20%, maybe 25% or whatever. But they already hiked up the prices before, the weeks prior, so that way you don't notice too much. And then they have a Black Friday sale. So those are driven to like get you thinking that, wow, I'm saving, but you really are not, because you're still maybe you might in reality get like a 10% discount from what all they did and everything. But also it makes you think like, oh, I saved 20% on this item, so now I have an extra 20% of what you would have spent. Now you want to spend it on some other things, right? They bring you into the store, especially that whole the limited time deals, all that stuff. You have to come in at 4 a.m. and all that stuff to get this deal. It's is to get you like in this scarcity mindset, right? They prey on that, in that scarcity mindset, to get you in the door buying these things and spending extra. I see it all the time where like they'll do things like that. Oh, get this for half off, but it might be like buy one get one half off and stuff. So you end up spending more than what you initially thought. So that is one tip right there. Is number one, watch these prices and really check if it is a good deal, if it's really a good markdown. Number two, is it something that you need, or is it you feeling the scarcity, or like that excitement of going to find a deal? Like sit on it. I promise you that stuff is still gonna be there. Like, they're gonna probably take it off for, like, the day or whatever, and then guess what? Then you go into Cyber Monday, and it's gonna be back on there, and then still be on there for the rest of the time because people are still Christmas shopping, right? So, don't feel like, uh, with these limited time offer things and deals, like and you might just not need it anyways. And number 3, set your budget, right? Like have your budget of what you're going to buy, where you're going to buy it, and then sit on it maybe for the night or whatever so you don't fall for that trap of like emotional buying and then you kind of like regret it. Let me tell you, I've fallen for this trap and it's still something that I work on when I go out shopping. That's why I kind of been avoiding. Now I do more like online and I like put it in my cart and I sit on it and I think about it. And then usually when I go back, I let's say have 5 things in my cart, I end up getting like 2 out of the 5 because I realize, you know what, I don't need these other things. The other one that I want to talk about is this whole layaway, right? It's so easy to just put it on a credit card or do layaway. I'm already seeing those throughout the stores when I go out there and be like, "Hey, layaway, layaway eligible," right? They'll put like they already saw. I went to like Tractor Supply and they already had like the clearance section, but you could also put it on layaway. So then like, that gets you in the mindset too, like, oh wow, number one, it's cheaper, it's on sale, and two, so now I could buy more things, and also I could put it on layaway, and so then that just makes you spend more than your budget, right? Because you're like, oh, I could stretch out that budget because I could pay it in payments or whatever. And same thing with the credit cards. Now there is a smart way to utilize credit cards if you are strategic and disciplined, right? You can put it on your credit card, pay it off right away so you get like points or the rewards or whatever. But the problem is that can lead a lot of people into the trap because they have that mindset like, oh, I'll just get points or whatever, but then they don't pay it on time before the interest hits, or they end up putting it on the credit card thinking like, hey, I'm just going to pay it over time, right? Because again, with everything going on with the sales and Black Fridays and stuff like that. So, not to say that there's not good deals out there, but again, just be more cautious. Create your plan before you hit these stores, before you start looking, set your budget and all that. The next thing I want to talk about is uh, all these news and talks about these new types of loans that are coming out, because that is a another financial trap that is being set. Now they're not able to do those yet. We got to see what happens with them, but I know that is being talked about. Trump wants to make those options available for people with under the guise of, hey, we're going to make houses more affordable, right? Because now you can qualify. So home buyers can, when they go out and get a loan, they could qualify because now you have the option of 50-year mortgages. But let me tell you, that is a trap. That is a financial trap, because now it sets you up for the idea that you can get a maybe a pricier home, a larger home that is maybe not in your budget right now, because oh, you have 50 years to pay it off, right? And it's tempting, especially if you're at the age where like you really want to buy a house. But let me tell you, if you go out there and emotionally buy a house, and try to do 50-year mortgages, it's a setup. It's a setup. You are going to be paying this house until you're like in your 80s or 90s, depending on what age you buy, right? But not only that, you are going to accrue equity so slowly because you're paying so little of the principal. You're paying mostly on interest. And that's the other thing with the this idea of the 50-year mortgage. And again, we talk about, myself and Lindsay in our other podcast, we talk about more in depth of these two options that are coming up. And basically what I want to say with that is that it is just set up for you to fail. You're going to be acquiring, accruing equity very slowly. You're going to be paying it off until you're 80 and 90, which means good luck with retirement and retiring early and all that. So if that does come about, avoid it like the plague. I'm telling you, if you are someone that is going to go look for a house, go buy a house, make sure that you don't fall into the trap of the pre-approval, because let's say they pre-approve you for 300,000, but when you go and look at your budget, because when they pre-approve you, they're looking for certain things, right? They're looking for the big major debts like car loan, um, your rent, mortgage if you already have one, or things like that. So they are not taking into account like, oh, how much gas are you spending per month? If you have a truck, you're spending like a lot of money, right? If you have childcare expenses, diapers, formula, like um childcare, if you have animals, how much, like their vet bills, their food, your groceries, and your light bill and all that stuff. They're not taking that into account. So yeah, do not fall into that financial trap of getting a bigger house that your budget can afford, right? Because then you're gonna end up being house poor, not being able to do the maintenance on the house, update it, decorate it how you want, getting the furniture and all that you want. So definitely avoid that trap. The next one I want to talk about is kind of the same mentality with the 15-year car loan, right? They're trying to make cars affordable as well, but they want to give you an option of a 15-year car loan. Is like, again, all of this is talks, but I want to talk about how they are creating these financial traps for people, and you need to be able to avoid these because they are set and to keep you. So imagine having a 50-year mortgage and a 15-year car loan. It might seem like a good idea because you're going to have like lower payments and all that, but again, the mentality is to keep you in debt longer. Now I know I talk about how I use debt to get into real estate, but the difference is here that a car is a liability, right? Unless you're going to use it for like Uber or something like that, right? It is a liability, versus rental properties are an asset because they are going to make me money. And if it's your primary home, depending on how you use it, like if you end up house hacking it or whatever, it is also just a liability because that is something that it's not bringing you money unless, again, you find a way to house hack, which I talk about in many other episodes throughout here. I'll link one down below, but these are liabilities. And so you want to really avoid getting into these long-term debts. If you need a car and, go out there and get you a car. Right now, I don't even have a car because I don't want that liability. I have no need for a car right now. Me and my husband, we're just at home. He works from home and I do this and work from home, take care of my daughter and everything. So we don't need two cars right now. Maybe next year when I start going to school and stuff, I'll get a car. But again, I'm going to go in with the mentality of getting a car that fits my budget. Number one, I don't buy brand new cars, right? I'm not the type of person that gets like, oh, the 2025, oh, the 2026 new car, right? I go out there and look for a pre-owned car. But for this 15-year car loan, it is a bad idea. You're going to stay in debt. You are risking, if anything, especially right now with everything going on, like you are risking that with all these layoffs and you don't even know which way the wind blows, that you might lose that car, right? If you lose your job, like it's going to be a financial struggle. So definitely, if this does come to fruition, like definitely avoid it as well, unless you are going to use it for like a business or something like that, like you have a cleaning business or again like Uber or whatever, right? Lastly, like it's impossible to talk about all the financial traps that are out there because there are so many. There are so many that are made to keep us down, right? The main point that I want to get here is to really become a little bit more financial literate. Definitely read books. There's so many people in our communities that have put out financial books, and I'll link a link down below to kind of like the my recommendations, the people that I like and the books that I've liked, to start educating yourself, because really that's the number one way that you're going to protect yourself from falling into these financial traps. There's a lot of free content, this podcast included, but there's a whole bunch of other podcasts as well. There's on YouTube, and it's from people in our own community, right? That are out here teaching financial literacy. So definitely, basically, just start educating yourself, because that's going to be the first line of defense right there, is learning how to identify these traps. So that way you can make better financial decisions. And the second one is definitely setting yourself up financially and start learning how to manage your money by making a money plan, by creating an emergency fund, a savings cushion, and things like that. So that's going to also protect you. And lastly, just being strategic with what you want to purchase. We have become so, especially with everything at our fingertips and even at TikTok, right? It's so easy when you see something to click the link and just go ahead and buy it because, you know, um, something we saw there, right? Everything has become so easy to buy, and it's so easy to fall into these things, and I've been guilty of it too, right? But one thing I do is like I budget for things like that, right? And I try to keep it at like maybe one thing a month or whatever, but it's become so easy to just buy, and it gets really hard, and you want to support your maybe your favorite creator because they're promoting a product that they liked or whatever. You want to help support them too, but remember that first comes yourself, your family, your financial security. And so basically I just wanted to share these tips because, again, We need to get our finances on point so that way we get out of this financial struggle that keeps us just with our head down, and which is one of the reasons we got where we are in the first place, because we've been just so distracted with all these other things that now we are in a place that, wow, like, uh is doing so much harm to our community. And that's one of the ways that we could combat is to get financially stable, financially literate, so that way we can go out here, because we can't fight the fight when we're struggling over here at home, right? But other than that, I don't want to get too into it. I just wanted to share some tips on how to avoid these financial traps. But let me know what financial traps you've fallen for, or which ones that I missed that you want to share with other people, so that way they can avoid it. Share your tips. Let me know. Other than that, I will see you in the next episode. Bye.